Hello everyone, I am Jyotiprakash and I welcome all of you to SSC Monk channel. Guys, I have a special announcement to make that we are going to start a new initiative for 2025 aspirants. And this initiative will be completely free in our YouTube channel for all of you, that is SSC Monk. So let's see what is this initiative all about. So guys, in this initiative, I will be helping students who are weak in mathematics or they find it difficult to understand the concepts of mathematics or they take a lot of time while solving those questions. And in this series, I will try to simplify all the basic concepts of all chapters in math, and I will take lectures one by one, and I will ensure that through this series you are 100% ready for all advanced level of question or advanced level of concepts. So guys, before I start, I have only two expectations from you. First, I want all of you to share your experience about this series and this lecture in the comment, and you let me know what is the next chapter you want to learn from this series. Now, my second expectation from you, if you guys find this series or this lecture helpful in your preparation, then do like this video and share it with all your friends who are preparing for any competitive examinations. If this video reaches out to more students, this will act as a motivation for me to create such wonderful videos through this series for all of your preparation. So guys, this series will be known as Foundation series, and this is our first lecture, that is percentage. So let's see what you all will be learning in this lecture. In this lecture of percentage, we'll be learning these things, starting from basics of percentage to how to convert fraction to percentage, then decimal to percentage, then percentage to how many numbers, ratios to percentage, increase or decrease in percentage, advanced concepts and successive percent concept. What I want all of you to understand, I will ensure that your conceptual clarity is 100% consolidated. After this video, you will never ever fear. You will have zero fear for mathematics and particularly for percentage. So guys, let's start percentage. First thing, you need to understand what is percentage. Percentage means per 100. That means if I am saying percentage of X, for an example, I am saying a student who was appearing in the 10th board examination and he scored 80%. What does this means? 80%. 80% means he scored 80 out of 100. If I say another student scored 45%, that means what? That means 45 out of 100. So if I say some student scoring 80 out of 100 in mathematics, another student is scoring 45 out of 100 in, that means his or her math percentage is 45% if he is scoring 45. His or her math percentage is 80% if he is scoring 80 out of 100. Now, second thing, this is the symbol of percentage. So whenever you will be seeing a question with this symbol, you need to understand this is a symbol of percentage. So this is the basic idea about percentage. If we find out, or if we will be solving questions in our next slides, we'll understand whenever the percentage question or whenever the percentage word will come, that means what? That means it is out of 100. Okay, so now the question lies, sir, will it be always out of 100 or will it be some different figure that we need to find out percentage out of that? And if that is the case, then how will be solving that? So you don't have to worry about it because I am there for you. Now, if you know percentage is always out of 100, so if I'm saying X percentage, that means what? X out of 100. For an example, I can say there are 100 students and out of 100 students, 25% failed in the examination of 10th. That means what? 25 students out of 100 failed. These are the failed students. And in the flip side, what does this mean? This means number of students pass the examination will be what? 100 minus 25, that is 75. So 75 students pass the examination out of what? 100. So how many students, or what is the percentage of students who passed? That is 75%. This was quite easy because the number was 100. But if I say there are 40 students, or there are 50 students, or there are 30 students in a class, and out of these 50 students or 30 students, only 10 students pass the examination, and I'm asking you, or the examiner is asking you, to find out the percentage of passing students. Now what we will do, so you don't have to worry it, because we have two methods to solve such kind of questions. If, see, whenever I was saying out of 100 students this many students passed, what we see? We see the base, or you can say the reference from which we are creating, or you are trying to find out the value of percentage, was always 100. So your base here, your base is what? 40, 50 or 30. So let's take an example of 50, because this will be easier for all of you to understand. So if I'm saying out of 50 students, 10 students pass the examination. So my base is what? My base is out of 50 students, 10 students pass the examination. Now, unless this base becomes 100, I won't be able to find out my percentage. So what I can do? I can always, there are two methods. First method is what? I will try to multiply something in the denominator. This is will be known as denominator, and this is be numerator. So I will multiply the same thing in denominator and numerator. Okay. So if I multiply a number in denominator and that number makes it 100, then my problem is solved. For an example, in this case, if I have to make 50 into 100, so what should I do? I will multiply simply 2. So 50 multiplied by 2 is equal to 100, and I have to multiply the same number in the numerator as well. Otherwise this will be a wrong apprehension, this will be a wrong approach. So if I multiply 2 in the numerator, my new numerator will be what? 20. So what is it now? So this will be out of 50 students, 10 students pass the examination, and now this 10 student is what? My 20 in numbers. So passing percentage is what? 20%, because it is out of 100. So how many students pass the examination? This means 20 students pass the examination. And how did we find that? We tried to make the given denominator, we convert the denominator to 100. So as you are learning this, as you are hearing this, it seems a bit difficult, right? It seems if this is an easier number, we are able to multiply it and we are able to get 100 out of it. If this is very difficult one, for an example, if this is about 45, or out of 55 students, or out of 35 students, then what we'll be doing? Then how will be solving this? So you don't have to worry. My students will be doing what? My students will be approaching what? Your job is to do what? So whenever you are given a number which is not in 100, you will do what? Sir, what is the question? The question is 50 students are there in the class, 10 students pass the examination. So I have to find out the percentage. I will simply multiply 100 over here and put a percentage symbol here. What I'm doing? I'm first creating the fraction that out of 50 students, 10 students pass the examination. I will simply multiply 100 with it and put a percentage number symbol aside it. Now I will solve this question. How will I solve? So if I try to solve 50, 20, 50, 100. So 50 multiplied by 2 is 100. Now 10 multiplied by 2 is 20. See how easy it is. I do not have to find out the number, and with that number I will convert the whole thing into 100. This is quite easy. Sir, this was an easy number. That's why you did it easily. If the case is about 40 students, then what we will do? Let's see. So in the examination, 40 students appeared in the examination, and out of 40 students, 10 students passed. We'll be always approaching, or we'll be always following the easiest method. What was the easiest method? The easiest method was, we'll simply multiply 100 and put a percentage symbol, then we'll solve it. Now if I have to divide 40, I have to divide 100 divided by 40. How do I do that? 100, 40, 40 multiplied by 3 will be 120. So I can use that. So 40 multiplied by 2 will be 80. Now my remainder is 20. Now 40 can't divide 20. So what will do? I'll put a decimal number. So if I put a decimal number here, now this number will become 200. So now what I will do? 40 multiplied by 1 is equal to 40, 40 multiplied by 2 is equal to 80, 40 multiplied by 3 is equal to 120, 40 multiplied by 4 is equal to 160, 40 multiplied by 5 is equal to 200. So now my remainder is 0. So what? So if I solve this, I will get what? 2.5. Now 2.5 will be multiplied with what? 10. So as you know, if I multiply a number with a decimal number, the decimal will get reduced, because 2.5 is always 25 by 10. I hope you understand how this decimal is being written. Okay, so 25 by 10 multiplied by 10, that is 25%. See how easy this is, guys. I understand this is taking 3 to 4 steps, because we are trying to establish your concept very clear. That's why it is taking a bit much more time, but when you will be solving few questions, this will be very easy for you. So my first thing was, the learning point from this chapter was what? That your percentage, if the number is not in 100, you shouldn't be worried about it, because you have a thing. What is the thing? You will simply follow this formula: numerator divided by denominator multiply by 100%. This formula will simply get you. This formula will simply make percentage out of any given number. This formula will ensure percentage out of any given number. I hope you are now ready with solving percentage, basic percentage question. Let's see a different thing. Now I am given with a fraction. What I am given with? I am given with a fraction. Here what I said, if a fraction is already given, fraction means there is a numerator to it, there is a denominator to it. What I will be doing? So in order to convert fractional numbers to percentage, what I should do? I will simply multiply fraction multiply by 100%. That will get me my desired percentage value. I hope this was clear from the last slide. So here in the question, the fraction is what? Write 1 by 3 as per percent. So my fraction is 1 by 3. I will simply multiply 100%. So my new numerator is 100 divided by 3%. Now if I solve this, for an example, if I am solving this, 3 multiplied by 3 is equal to 9. 1 is the remainder, 0 will come down. 3 multiplied by 3 is equal to 9. 1 is there. I can't divide 1 by 3. So I will put a decimal number here. Now 3 multiplied by 3 is equal to 10. 9, 1, 0. So this will continue. This 33.33 will continue. So what I can do? I can write, sir, this means 33.33%, or as you all know, if I am solving a question, if I am dividing a whole thing, so and I am finding out that the remainder is 1. The remainder is 1. Now what I can do for this fraction? I can write this fraction as 33 1 by 3%. I hope you know how to write down a fraction, how to convert a fraction. This is not about the percentage. This is about dividing that fraction. Okay, so I hope you understand. Here the remainder will come, here the dividend will come. So this was all about how to convert fractional numbers to percentage. Now let's solve another question. So this is a question that out of 25 children, when it is given out of, when it is given among, when it is given in a class of, that means what? That number is my denominator. So out of 25 students, how many students are girls? 15 students are girls. Now I have to find out the percentage. My next thing will be multiplied with by 100%. So as we know, 25 multiplied by 2 is equal to 50. 25 multiplied by 3 is equal to 75. 25 multiplied by 4 is equal to 100. So now I find out 25 by, I divided 100 divided by 25. I got 4. Now 15 into 4 is equal to 15. 4 is a 60. So the percentage of, so the percentage of girl student is what? 60%. If in this particular question it asked what is the percentage of boys, what will you do? You have two options. First option is find out the number of boys, because if you find out the number of boys and if you divide that number of boys with total number of students and multiply with 100%, then only you will find out the percentage of boys. Or we can do what? If you do not want to do that way, what you will do? You will first find out the percentage of girls. What we know? Percentage mean what? Percentage mean 100%. So in this 100%, boys are also there, girls are also there. So if out of 100, 60 are girls, how many are boys? Sir, 100 minus 60 is equal to 40. So my percentage of boys is 40%. I hope. So you will say, sir, if out of 100, 60 are girls, then number of boys is 40. So percentage of boys is 40%. So what we understand? We understand two things. Either we can find out number of boys, then divided with total number of students and multiply by 100. We can do in this method. If the number of boys is not given, or we simply what can do? We can subtract, we can deduct percentage of girl out of 100 and we can find out the percentage of boys. I hope this is clear to all, because this is a very simple and easier concept for each and every one of you. Okay, now let's move to the next concept. Before we move to the next concept, I am giving few homework just to solve, just to ensure that you know how to solve fractions or how to convert fraction into percentage. So this will be your homework. You will be solving this homework. So the first thing will be solving what? You will be solving 1 by 4, 2 by 4, 3 by 4, 1 by 5, 2 by 5, 3 by 5, 4 by 5, 1 by 6, 2 by 6, 3 by 6, 4 by 6, 5 by 6, 1 by 7, 2 by 7, 3 by 7, 4 by 7, 5 by 7, 6 by 7, 1 by 8, 2 by 8, 3 by 8, 4 by 8, 5 by 8, 6 by 8, 7 by 8. This is your homework. You will be solving this irrespective of whether you are a beginner, whether you are a repeater. If you are still finding solving percentage question difficult, then you should do this task. Okay, let's check out the next concept. Now sir, we are done with percentage basics. Sir, we are done with how to convert percentage to decimals. Sir, what we can do in terms of converting decimals to percentage? I will say this is much more easier. You will say, is this how? Because Decimal is what? Decimal is shorter version of fraction. For an example, here in this first question, it is given 0.75. So 0.75, can I write it as 75 by 100? I can write it, right? I hope you all know how to convert decimals to fraction. So the basic way in order to find out the fraction is, so you will first take out the number which is given. In this case it is 75. Now you will put as many zero available, as many zero for the number of, for the numbers. For an example, in this particular question, how many numbers are there after decimal point? There are two numbers, so I'll put two numbers. For an example, if it was given as 0.123, so my numerator will always be 123. Now after decimal point, how many numbers are there, or how many digits are there? Three digits are there, so I'll put 1 1 2 3 digits. For an example, this should be written as 6 7 8 9. Now my numerator will always be 6 7 8 9, and after the decimal number, after the decimal, how many numbers are there? Four numbers are there, so it will have 40 in the denominator. I hope this is clear to each and every one of you. Now the thing is here, so my decimal was 0.75. Now my fraction is 75 by 100, and if I have fraction, I will simply multiply it with what? I'll simply multiply it with 100%. Now 100 will cross 100. My percentage is 75%. This is my answer. As simple as that. Now see the next question. So my fraction is what? 0.09. I can write 09, or I can simply write 9. Now how many numbers are there after the decimal? 2. So I'll put 100, and then in order to make it to a percentage, I will simply multiply by 100, and it will get me 9%. Now the third question is what? 0.2. Now I can write it 2 divided by, how many digits are there after decimal? 1. So it is 10. Now I will multiply it with what? I will multiply it with 100%. Now if I divide 100 by 10, I will get what? 10. So 2 multiplied by 10 is equal to 20. So 0.2 is what? 0.2 is 20%. I hope now you are clear how to convert a decimal to percentage. For an example, if a question will come in your examination, if a question will come in your examination, and it will say something like, in a organization, in an organization, or you can say in SSC CGL examination, in SSC CGL examination, only 0.001 per, only 0.001 students get selected. That means what? What is the percentage of it? That means I'll put 1 in the numerator, then how many digits are there? 3 digits are there. That means out of 1000 students, only one student get selected. Out of 1000 students, only one student gets selected. Now if I have to make it into a percentage, what I will be doing? I will multiply it with 100%. Now this will solve what? Now I have solved it. Now my remaining number is 1 by 10%, or I can write it as 0.1% student. 1 by 10 means what? 1 by 10 means 0.1. So 0.1% students get selected in SSC CGL. If my question is like this, if my question is like that, in a, for an example, you all wear jeans, right? So I can say, in a jeans pant, in a jeans pant, let's understand it this way. A jeans pant is made of 60% of cotton, 20% of polyester, and I can write 0.2 of, for an example, nylon. A jeans pant is made of 0.2 of nylon, 60% of cotton, 20% of polyester. Now I have to find out what is that 0.2 into percentage. So what I will be doing? So 0.2 is 2 by 10. I will multiply with 100. So I'll get what? I'll get 10. It is 20%. So the percentage of nylon in this pant is 20%. For an example, if this question is given like this, if a question is given like this, in our environment, 78% is nitrogen is there. 78% is nitrogen is there. 1% other gases are there. And remaining part is oxygen. Now I have to find out the percentage of oxygen. So what I will do? So as I know, whenever percentage is associated, it is always 100%. So my total was 100%. And out of that total, 78 was nitrogen plus 1 was other gases. So this is 100 minus 79% is equal to, if I deduct 79 out of 100, I will get 21%. So the percentage of oxygen is what? 21%. So even if a question is asked this way, I hope you are able to find out the percentage without any fear, without any worry. Okay. Now we are done with converting decimals to percentage. Guys, these are the things which are very crucial for your examination. You will get different types of question in your examination. So you should be prepared for that. Now, this is a homework for you. This is a homework for you. Here the percentage is given. Now you will solve the percentage into fraction and to decimal. It is quite easy. You do not have to worry about it. You have to simply solve it. Okay. Now this is a reference material that I am giving you. I have already asked these questions for your homework. You can refer this material. You can remember these numbers, because if you remember these figures in questions, in examinations, you don't have to do these steps by converting the fraction to percentage or by converting the decimal into percentage. You can simply write down the percentage, or you can directly solve this question. Or if the percentage is given, you can simply write down the fraction and solve the question. So this is how it will be beneficial for you when you will be solving questions. Now let's understand the next concept. Before we start with the concept, let's solve few questions. So if 65% students in a class have bicycle, now what I have already told you, every time if a percentage is there, then the total percentage will be what? So the total percentage was 100. How many students have bicycle? 65%. How many students do not have bicycle? I will simply deduct it and I will find out 100 minus 65 is equal to 35%. So 35% of students, they do not have bicycles. So this question will be solved like this. Now this is a homework for you. In a basket full of apples, oranges, mangoes, 50% are apples, 30% are oranges. What are the percentage of mangoes? Quite easy, very easy for you. Now, as we have already learned about converting percentage, converting into percentage. Now, if a percentage is given and we have to find out the number associated with the percentage. For an example, if I am saying in a class, here in this class, 40 children are there or 40 students are there. And out of these 40 students, 25% plays football. Now I have to find out what? I have to find out the number of students playing actually football out of 40. I can't write 25 because 25 is out of 100. 25% is what? 25% is out of 100 students. So whenever a question is like this, if you are given a number and you have to find out the percentage in it, you will simply do what? You will convert the percentage into the fraction like this, and you will simply multiply with the total number of students. You will simply multiply with the total number of students or total number of any data or any information given, then you will find out what? Your desired value. So in this case, 25 multiplied by 100 multiplied by 40 students is equal to what? Let's see. So now what I can do, I can multiply 25 into 40 divided by 100. So 0 will cut 0. 25 multiplied by 4 is equal to 100, as we all know, divided by 10. Now this will be 10 per. This will be what? 10. So 25% students, those who are playing football out of 40. So how many students were actually playing football? 10 students playing football. Okay. So I hope this is clear to each and every one of you. If the question is like this, in the survey of 40 students, 75% of students do not play football, then find out how many students like playing football. If question is like this, you should not confuse it with anything else. Your job is very simple. Sir, we know total number of students is 100%. Number of students that do not like playing football is 75%. So how many number of students like playing football? That is 100 minus 75 is equal to 25%. Now I just have to find out 25% of 40. How would I find that out? 25% of 40. I will find out 25 by 100 multiplied by 40. And if I solve it, I will get my desired result. So let's derive a formula. So if anywhere it is written or it is asked percentage of this number, for an example, X% of P things or P students or anything like that. Okay. Like in this question, 25% of 40 children. You have to find out 25% who are liking football out of what? 40 children. So if a question is always like this, X percentage of P things or out of P things X%, you will be writing this as X by 100 multiplied by P. So this is your formula. Whenever it is asked X percentage of P, for an example, it is asked 75% of 300. How will I write it? I will write it as 75 divided by 100 multiplied by 300. If my question is like this, 55% of 200, how will I write it? X, that is 55 divided by 100, then multiplied by 200. And once I solve it, I will find my desired number. Here what I will find? My desired number. This is not about percentage. This is about finding the number. X% of P things will only get me my desired number. I hope you are now clear with the formula. So whenever you will be asked this type of question, you can solve it like this. Let's find out. Let's solve this question. So I am asked 50% of 164. So first thing I will be doing what? X, that is 50, divided by 100 multiply by my given number, that is P, 164. So if I solve 50 divided by, I will divide 100 by 50, I will get what? If I will get 2. Now 2 is in the denominator. So if I divide 164 by 2, I will get 2 multiplied by 8 is equal to 16. 2 multiplied by 2 is equal to 4. So 50% of 164 is 82. I hope you understand the calculation. You can solve it in any way. You just need to understand, or you just need to approach the way in which it is easier for you to solve this question. Okay, so first question is done. Now second question. It is asking, sir, 75% of 12. As we know for the formula, x by 100 multiply by the given number 12. Now you will say, how will I solve it? Sir, we know if we divide 75 by 25 it will get us 3. Sir, if we divide 100 by 25 it will give us 4. So now in my denominator it is 4. If I divide 12 by 4 I will get 4 3s are 4 multiplied by 3 is equal to 12. So my remainder will be 3. My answer will be 3. Now 3 multiplied by 3 is equal to 9. So 75% of 12 is what? 75% of 12 is 9. I hope this is clear to all. Now it is asked what? Sir, find out 12 1 by 2 percentage of 64. Sir, find out 12 1 by 2% of 64. Now my first job is to convert this fraction into a more easy fraction. So whenever this type of fraction is there, my formula is what? 12 multiplied by 2 plus 1. My formula is what? 12 multiplied by 2 plus 1. So 12 multiplied by 2 plus 1 divided by the denominator will always be there by 2. So it is what? 12 multiplied by 2 is equal to 24 plus 1 is equal to 25 by 2. Can I write 12 1 by 2% as 25 by 2% of 64? Yes, definitely. Now it is easy for me. So 25 by 2% of 64. I can write 25 by 2 and in the denominator I have to multiply 100 because it is always x by 100, or I can write it like as 25 by 2 by 100. So this denominator will be multiplied with 100. So my new denominator or numerator is what? 25 by 200 multiply by 2 into 100 is equal to 200 multiply by my given number, that is 64. So now if I solve it, I will get my answer. So sir, as we know, if we solve or if we divide 200 by 4, we'll get 50 multiplied by 4 is equal to 200. And sir, if we solve 64 divided by 4, we'll get what? We'll get 16. Now sir, we can divide it again. So if I divide 50 by 2, I'll get 25. And if I divide 16 by 2, I will get what? 8. Now sir, I have a simpler version, that is 25 divided by 25 multiplied by 2. And as you know, 25 will cross out the 25 and I will get 1. So 8 into 1 is equal to 8. So in this particular question, 12 1 by 2% of 64 is what? 8. How would I find it out? So first thing I did, I solved this whole question into a simpler fraction. Then I used my formula and I solved it and I got my number. Now the fourth question, sir, in out 8% children of class 25 like getting wet in the rain. How many children like getting in the rain? So it is all about 8% of 25. 8 by 100 as the formula says, multiply by 25. As we know, if I divide 100 by 25, I'll get what? I'll get 8. And sorry, I'll get 4. If I divide 100 by 25, I'll get 4. Now 4, 8. So if I divide 8 by 4, I will get 2. So how many students out of 25 like getting wet in rain? That is 2. That is 2 because 8% children like getting wet out of 25. So my number is 2. This is the answer. I hope this is easier for you. Now you will need to remember this formula. You always need to remember this formula whenever you are whenever you have to asked about finding x percentage of p. You will simply do what? X divided by 100 multiply by p. As simple as that. Okay, I hope this is clear. Now this is a flipper version, or you can say if we simply flip the question, this will be like this. So here it is given that 9 is 25% of what number? What you used to do? For an example, X percentage of P. We used to find, how you used to find? X by 100 multiply by P. Now here it is given X percentage of P. X percentage of P is equal to N. Can I write X by 100 multiply by P is equal to N? I can write it because this was given. Now if I solve it, what I will get? So 100 will be multiplied by with N, X will be divided, and I will be left with what? P. So if P is not given and N is given, I can solve it right this like. Are you getting my point? If it is given that X percentage of P is N, for an example it is given as 25% of 200 is 50. It is given. That means what? 25 divided by 100 multiplied by 20 is equal to 50. If I solve it, I will get 50. That's correct, right? So X percentage of P is equal to N. So I can write it like this. And if I solve this, I will get what? P is equal to N multiplied by 100, N multiplied by 100 divided by X. Are you clear? So whenever it is given that you have to find out the base number, you will be using this formula. Now here in this question, 9 is 25% of what number? 25% of X is 9. So I can write it like this: 25 by 100 multiplied by X is equal to 9. If I solve, divide 100 by 25, I will get 4. So I can write X by 4 is equal to 9. Now this will come this side and get multiplied. X is equal to 9 multiplied by 4 is equal to 36. So 9 is what? 9 is 25% of 36. I hope you are getting my point. Or I can simply use the formula. So in the next question, here in the second question, let's use the formula. Here 75% of what number is 15. Here for this formula, for this particular formula, P is always equal to N into 100 by X. Now here my X, that is my percentage, is equal to what? 75. My N, the new number, is equal to what? 15. So I have to find out my P. This is the number. What is the number? So what I will do, I will multiply 15 into 100 divided by 75. And if I divide 75 by 15, I will get 5. 15 5 is 75. Now if I divide 100 by 5, I will get 20. So 75% of 20 is equal to 15. I hope now you are getting my point. So whenever you are asked, find out, for an example, X percent of what number is, for an example, P. So how you will solve, how you will be solving it? You will be solving it like this. What number will always be equal to P multiplied by 100 divided by X. As simple as that. I hope you are getting my point. I hope you are getting this thing. Now let's understand. Before I understand, you need to solve this question. First thing is how to find out the number, the first formula, then the second formula. The number is not given, but the new number is given. So you need to solve it. Okay. And comment these answers. I see everything. Whoever is teaching you, whatever you are learning, this is incomplete unless you are putting this to practice. So solve this question. These are really easy. If you solve this, this will help you developing a sense of discipline, and you will be easily able to approach higher level of questions, advanced level of question. That's the motto. That's why I am trying to create this series for all of you guys. Okay. Now let's solve this question. Here in this question it is given, out of 15,000 voters in a constituency, 60% voted. find the percentage of voters who did not vote. So I have two options. First thing, 15,000 voters are there, 60% voted. I can write it like this: 50,000 60 by 100, and if I solve it, I'll get what? 15 into 6 equal to 90. Then 20 will carry. How many voters voted? 9,000 voters voted. Now total voters 15,000. Total voted 90,000. 9,000. This is the number of person who voted. How many did not vote? So 15,000 minus 9,000 is equal to 6,000. So 6,000 did not cast their vote. Now I find out how many did not cast their vote. Now I have to find out the percentage, because it is asked find the percentage of voters who did not vote. So from the first slide, what I learned, I have to find out, I have to always put total voters or total number in the denominator. So my total number was what? 15,000. And this is my given thing, ki how many numbers or how many voters did not vote. That is 6,000. And I have to multiply with 100%. So if I solve this will get 6 into 100 is equal to 600 divided by 15%. 15, if I solve it 60, it will be 15 4 just 60, then 0, it is 40%. So how many, what is the, find the percentage of voters who did not vote? That is 40%. I can do all this math. Or if you are smart enough, if you have already checked out this lecture, what you will do? Sir, from the beginning of this video you have already told, if 60%, 30%, 20% is given, that means it is what? It is out of 100%. So total voter was 100%. How many voted? 60% voted. I have to find out how many did not vote. So I will simply deduct it. I'll find out 100 minus 60 equal to 40%. Sir, 40% did not vote. Now I have to find out what is the actual number. So I have to find out 40% of 15,000. What is the formula? 40 divided by 100 multiplied by 15,000. So 6,000 voters that did not actually cast their vote. Which is easier for you guys? This is a easy this number or this question is bit easier in terms of number. But if you are, you are given with a tougher number or a tougher question, you should always focus on this method, because this will be easier in terms of approach and this will take less time to solve. Here it is taking much more time because you have to do 3 to 4 steps. Here in 2 steps it is done. And if you solve more questions like this, your speed will be much more higher, because I am solving this step. I am doing this step in order to help you understand. Here you can do the calculation orally. 60% voted. How many did not vote? 100 minus 60, that is 40. Now I have to find out 40% as of 15,000. And this is my answer. I hope you are getting my point. You are getting the idea how to solve such type of questions. Let's see another question. In this question, it is written, Mita saves 40,000 from her salary. Mita saves 40,000 out of her salary. Savings is what? Sorry, 4,000. My bad. 4,000 out of her salary. See, next year when you will be attempting 2025 exam, you will clear the exam. You will also start getting salary and you will start saving. So these concepts are helpful for you in your real life as well. Try to understand this, because you will be savings, you will be investing, you will understand how investing works, how my return will come. So you will understand all those things. So these are the concepts that will help you in long term. So try to understand or try to learn the best possible way. Try to learn the best possible way. So in this question it is given Mita saves 4,000 in his savings. Savings is what? 4,000. Now in the next statement it is saying if this is 10% of her salary, if this is 10%, what is 10% of her salary? Saving is 10% of her salary. Total 100%. Savings 4,000, 10%, sorry. So now what is her salary? Now I can write it as 10%, that is saving 10% of her salary. 4,000 given. I can write it like that. So her salary will be 4,000 multiplied by 100 divided by 10. This is the formula that I have already given you. So if I solve it, I'll get what? His salary is 4,000 multiplied by 10 is equal to 40,000. So out of 40,000 salary, she is saving 4,000. This is really bad. You shouldn't be doing this. This is a real life, or you can say pro tips for you. Saving should be much higher for your future goals. So in this question, how did we convert this whole question into this statement? That's the crux. If you understood this whole thing, then each and every question after this will be much more easier for you. So we focused on only two terminologies here. What? First, the given thing, that is the savings. Second, the percentage. And what is that percentage refer to? It refer to savings. So I hope with this you can find out this statement, or you can create this statement, and then you can solve it and you can get the answer. Okay, I hope this is clear to each and every one of you. Now we have already understood the fractions, the decimals, everything else. Now it's a bit, what I can say, it's a bit advanced version of what we have already learned till now. Let's understand this, because these are the questions and there are a higher probability of coming questions from these types of questions, because these are a bit advanced. Okay, but you don't have to worry, because I'm there for you. I will help you understand these concepts. I'll ensure that you are 100% ready for these concepts. Okay, so here in this question it is written, Reena's mother said to make idlis. You know, for breakfast idlis are favorite one. So Reena's mother said to make idlis, but when you will be making idli, you need to remember, Reena, you must take 2 part of rice, add it with 1 part of urad dal. What he said? What she said? Her mother said to Reena, Reena, you must take 2 parts of rice and 1 part of urad dal, and you will make idli. See, what I am doing? I am taking 2 part of rice, I am taking 1 part of idli, and I am making idlis. 2 plus 1 is what? 3. So 3 part is what? 3 part is idli. Are you getting my point? So I have 15 ball, and I can say I have 15 green ball and I have 10 red ball. If I'm asked how many balls do I have, what I'll do? 25 balls. If I have to create a cricket team, and I have 5 batsmen and 6 bowler, it will be 11 team, right? So this is how idli is made. 2 part of rice, 1 part of urad dal, and we are getting idli. So my total figure idli is 3. So my total is 3. Now it is asked, what percentage of such mixture would be rice? What percentage would be urad dal? Sir, very clear. My total is 3. So it will come in denominator. Sir, my numerator is already fixed. How many part? 2 parts of rice. So it is 2 by 3. Now I have to find out the percentage. So I will simply multiply it with 100% and I will solve it. I will get my percentage. So this will be 200 by 3, and if I solve it, 3 6 is 18, then 2 will be there. Again 3 6 is 18, then 2 will be there, and it will be 66.66%. Or 66, 200 divided by 3, 6, 18, 20, 6, 18, 2. So I can write it 66 2 by 3 percentage. I can write it both way, right? I have already informed you. I have already helped you understand this, how it is, happening. So this is how you will be finding out mixture of rice. Now let's find out the percentage of urad dal. Very simple, sir. My total is 3. How many parts of urad dal was mixed? It is 1 by 3. So if I find out the number, it will be 100 by 3. And 100 by 3 is known as 33.33% or 33 1 by 3%. We have already solved this particular number. That's why I'm not solving it again. So are you getting my point? Are you getting my point? How it is mentioned and how we are deriving the sense out of it. So for an example, this question is written as idli is made from rice and urad dal in 2:1 ratio. This statement is same as this statement. Idli is made from rice and urad dal in 2:1 ratio. So first thing is rice. So rice is in 2 parts. Second part is urad. So urad part is 1 part. And I can simply solve it. My total number is 2 plus 1. Then whatever it is asked, I will put it in numerator, whether it is urad dal or rice, then I will find out simply my percentage. I hope now this is clear to each and every one of you. If a question is asked in ratios, you will be able to find out the percentage of it. Okay? Are you ready, guys? Let's solve another one. So if 250 is to be divided, so my total is what? 250 is to be divided among Ravi, Raju and Roy. So that Ravi gets 2 part, 2 part will go to Ravi, Raju will get 3 parts and Roy will get 5 parts. So the total is divided among Ravi, Raju and Roy. Ravi is getting 2, Raju is getting 3 and the rest 5 is getting Roy. So the total part 2 plus 3 plus 5. 2 plus 3 is equal to 5. 5 plus 5 is equal to 10. So how many parts are there total? So total number of parts is 10. Total number of parts is 10. Now 10 parts is equal to what? 250, because it is already given. 250 is the amount that is given. So total part is 10. How did I find out? Because the whole thing is being divided among Ravi, Raju and Roy. Ravi is getting 2, Raju is getting 3 and Roy is getting 5. So if I add the whole thing, I will get my total. Now, how much money will each get? 10 is equal to 250, right? But Ravi will get what? Ravi will get 2 out of 10. Ravi will get 2 out of 10. Now 10 was 250. 2 will be what? I will simply multiply 250 with it. So because the whole thing was 250, so 10 was 250. Now Ravi will be getting 2, so I will multiply simply 250 with 10, or in unitary method it is written as 10 parts are 250. 1 part will be 250 by 10. If 10 chocolates The cost of 10 chocolate is 250. One chocolate will be, I will divide 250 divided by 10, I will get 25. Same, if I will ask what is the price of 2 chocolate, you can say, sir, 25 multiplied by 2 is equal to 50. Like that, in this case, we can write it this way or simply the unitary method way. You can do any way possible. But this is a easier question. That's why this may feels easy for you. But in tough question, this should be the approach that you should be following. So Ravi will be getting 2 out of 10, then multiply by the total figure. So if I solve it, it will be 50 rupees. Ravi will get 50 rupees. Now Raju. So Raju will get what? 3 out of 10. It will be multiplied by 250. So if I solve it, it will get, Raju will get 75 rupees. Now, how much money will Roy get? Roy will get 5 out of 10 multiplied by 250. So it will get me 125 rupees. It will get me 125 rupees. Now, the first question is solved. How much money will each get? Now, what will it be in percentage? How many percentage will Ravi get? How many percent will Raju get? How many percent will Roy get? It has nothing to do with 250. It has nothing to do with 250 because what was my total part? My total was 10. Ravi was getting 2. So if I have to calculate the percentage, I will simply multiply 100. My total part 10. Raju was getting 3. So if I have to find out the percentage, I will multiply simply 100%. My total part here is also 10. Roy was getting 5. So if I multiply 100% here, I will get my percentage number. So if I solve it, I will get 2 into 10 is 20%. So Ravi is getting 20% money. Same. Raju is getting 30% money. If I divide 100 by 10, it will be 10. 10 into 5 is 50. So Roy is getting 50% of money. See how easily we solve it. But while solving it, while we are approaching the question, the things which was important for us is this one. Putting this whole statement into this figure and finding this out. So if you find this or if you follow this step, it will be much more easier for all of you to solve such kind of questions. Solve such kind of questions. I hope now you are clear. Now, this is a classic example that we have already solved. This is a classic example we have already solved. So these are the questions that comes in CGL, CHSL, CPO, MTS examination and GD examination as well. So, sir, we know X is what percentage of N? X is what percentage of N? Sir, we know my total is N. I have to find out percentage of X. So I will simply do what? X by N multiply by 100%. What we used to do? 25 students out of 50 pass the examination. How many students pass the examination? 25 by 50 multiply by 100%, right? We used to do that, right? This is the same way. If it is asked X is what percentage of N, you will simply write X by N multiply by 100%. You will write what? X by N multiply by 100%. This is the formula that you should be following without any doubt. Now, solve this question. What is the percentage of 10 minutes in 1.5 days? Here my X is what? 10 minutes. Here my N is what? 1.5 days. But the problem is what? Sir, this is given in minutes. This is given in dates. You don't have to worry. What we know? We know is 1 hour is equal to 60 minutes. In a day, how many hours are there? 24 hours are there. So 1 hour is equal to 60 minutes. 24 hours is equal to 24 multiplied by 6 is equal to 1440 minutes. But sir, we have to find out 0.5 days as well. 0.5 means what? 1 day divided by 2. 0.5 means 1 day divided by 2. That's how we get 0.5. So in a day that was 1440 minutes. So if I have to find out the half of it, it will be 2 7s are 14, 2 2s are 40, 720 minutes. So in 1.5 days, total number of minutes is what? 0 0 0 4 2 6. 14 plus 7 is equal to 21. So 2160 minutes are there in 1.5 days. So this was all my total, my n. Now my n is equal to 2160 minutes. My x is given 10 minutes. If I have to find out the percentage, what I will do, x by n multiply by 100% is equal to 10 by 2160 multiply by 100%. And if you solve this 1000 by 2160, you will get your percentage. 100 by 216 percentage. 100 by 216 percentage, or you can write it as, if we solve it, we'll divide 100 by 4, we'll get 25. If we divided 216 by 4, we will get 4 5s are 20, 4 4s are 16. 25 by 54 percentage. This can lead to decimal as well. This can lead to decimal as well. You have to solve it. Just for the sake of your understanding, I am keeping it here. If question is asked, if answer is written in decimal, you can simply solve it into decimal as well. So this is how we'll be finding percentage of something. Now, in this question, it is written as, and this question has already been asked in various examinations repeatedly. Sachin scored 120 runs, which included 8 boundaries, 5 sixes. 8 boundaries mean 8 fours and 5 sixes. So 8 4 means 8 into 4 run is equal to 32 runs from 8 boundaries. 5 sixes means 5 into 6 is equal to 30 runs. So total run he made by clicking or by striking boundaries and sixes is 32 plus 30 is equal to 62 runs. Okay. Now, my first question is, what percentage of his total score did he make by running between wickets? Total score is what? 120 runs. What is scored by scoring boundaries? Boundaries and sixes? 62. So if I deduct this, I will find out what? Running between wickets. I will find what? Running between wickets. And if I solve it, 0 by 2, 8, 11 minus 6 is equal to 58. So 58 runs. He made 58 runs out of 120 simply by running between wickets. But I have to find out the percentage of it. So I'll do what? I'll simply multiply 100%. And if I solve the whole question, I'll get my answer. So if I divide 12 by 2, it will get 6. If I divide 58 by 2, it will get me 29. So this is 229 multiplied by 10 is equal to 290 divided by 6. So if I solve it, I will get 6 4s are 24. Then 50 is there, 6 8s are 48, 20, 6 3s are 18, 6 3s are 18. You will solve it like this. 6 4s are 24, 50, 6 8s are 48, 2. Now I can't solve it, so I'll put a decimal. I'll get a 0. 6 3s are 18. Again I will get 2. Then I will get a 0. Again it will be 3. So it will be 48.33. 48.33% or 48. Simply here the remainder was what? 2. 48 2 by 6, and 2 by 6 can be written as 1 by 3. So it can be written as 48 1 by 3%. Whenever this type of fraction is there, you have to take it into the least format. You have to take it in the smallest format. So it will be 48.13%. 48 to the power 1 by 3%. 48 1 by 3% score was made while running between wickets. The second part is there. What percent of his total score did he make by not running wickets? You have two options. First option is what was the score by boundary? That was 62. The out of 120, you will simply multiply 100% and you will solve it. Or you can simply do what? Total was 100%. He did 48.33% out of running. So how many percentage what is the score that he achieved by not running? I will simply deduct it and I will find out 100 minus 48.33. I hope you know how to solve this question. It will get me 67. Now this will get me 51.67 percentage of 51.67 percentage of score was made without running between wickets. I hope this is clear to each and every one of you now. Okay. Here the trick was understanding running between wickets and not running between wickets. Boundaries means 4 and 6s. Okay. Now, next question. The quantity of salt in 500 gram water is 48 gram. 500 gram water. What was the quantity of salt? 48 gram. Now, you need to understand very clearly the wordings that is given. Here what is given? The quantity of salt in water. Here water is given and in the next format is given calculate the percentage of salt in the solution. See here water, here solution. That means a solution has to be made first. How you will make a solution? You will made it with water plus salt. This is the catch. If you figured it out, the catch, then your whole thing is easy. So now solution will be made out of water and salt. Water 500, 48 grams salt. So what was the total solution? 548 is the solution. 548 is the solution. Now calculate the percentage of salt in solution. My total solution is 548. My salt is 48. If I have to calculate the percentage, I'll simply multiply with 100% and I will get my answer. That is 48 into 100 is equal to 4800 divided by 548 percentage. This is my answer. Here the trick was to understand there are two words that was given here, water and here solution. In this water salt was not added. Salt was added and made solution. Then you can say it is a salt water solution. It is salt water solution. I hope this is clear to each and every one of you. Now, the next and most important part. Increase or decrease as percentage. Increase or decrease as percentage. So here a school team won 6 games this year against 4 games won last year. So last year, this is my reference point, 4 win. This year 6 win. What is the percentage increase? What is the percentage increase? So what I need to find out first? The increase. Then I will find out the percentage. The increase. So increase is winning is what? What is the higher number? 6 minus the lower number 4 is equal to 2. So increase in number of wins is 2. Now I have to find out the percentage. So this is the increase. But it is increased on what? It is increased from what? See what I'm saying? It is increased from what? It is increased from last year wins to out of to increased from 4 wins. 2 increased from 4 wins. I hope now you are getting the point. This is my total. This is my difference. This is my total. This is my difference. I have to multiply 100% with it, and I will get what? I will get my percentage. So 2 by 4 multiply by 100% is equal to what? 1 by 2 multiply by 100%. How would I find out 1 by 2? I divided 2 in the numerator and in the denominator. Now 100 by 2% is equal to what? 2 divided by 100 is equal to 50. 50%. So increase in percent is 50 here. So what is the formula? The formula is total increase divided by from the base value multiply by 100%. So if a question is like this comes in your examination, you have to approach it this way. Here total increase is what? 6 minus 4. Base is what? Against 4 games. Multiply by 100%. That is 2 by 4 multiply by 100%. That is 1 by 2 multiply by 100% is equal to 50%, as we have already saw. This is how you will be solving total increase or total decrease. Here total increase is there. So if in a question it will be asked what is the total decrease, that's quite simple. You will write total decrease divided by base value or the last value, simply multiply with 100%. What it will get you? Decrease percentage. This will get you decrease percentage. And what it is getting you? This is getting you increase percentage. I hope this formula is clear for each and every one of you. Let's solve one more question. The number of illiterate persons in a country decreased from 150 lakhs to 100 lakhs in 10 years. So last value or the base value is what? 150 lakh. The new value or the current value is what? 100 lakh. Total decrease is what? 150 minus 100 lakh. That is 50 lakh. Now total decrease percentage will be what? Total decrease divided by last value multiply by 100%, as we know from our last slide. Okay. Now total decrease is what? 50 lakh divided by last value from, it decreased from where? This is my reference. So 150 lakh multiply by 100%. So if I solve this, if I divide 150 by 50, it will get me 1 by 3 multiply by 100%. That is 100 by 3%. And as you know, we have been solving this multiple times. 100 by 3% is either 33.33% or 33 1 by 3%. So this is our answer. This is the percentage of decrease, total decrease percent. What we needed for that? The last value, the reference value, the new value, then we find out the total decrease, then we simply put it in the formula. I hope this is clear to all. This is the homework. You have to find out the percentage of increase or decrease depending on what is given in the question and solve it. And you will put this in comment. I want each and every one of you to solve it and put this in your comment. Okay. Now the next concept. A cloth store offers a special discount on Diwali. They create a log of customer. So as you know, recently Diwali went and it was a great festival. Each and every one of us celebrated. So for a shopkeeper, he wants to increase his sale. That's why he offered the discount. Now what happened? He tried to track. He tried to track what who are the customers who came this year. So he created a log of customer. Log means the list of customers. Then they see a growth of 15% in their customers than last year. What does this mean? This means if last year 100 customer came and this year number of customer increased by 15%, number of customer increased by 15%, that means 15 increased out of 100, 15 increased out of 100. So my total number is what? Old value plus number of increased, that is 115. Sorry, it's not percentage, it's 115 customers are there this year. See, let me repeat it again. Last year I have 100 customers. This year my number of customer increased by 15%. How many percentage? 15%. So 15% can be written as 15 by 100 and multiply by 5. Increase 15% of what? 15% of 100, that is 15 by 100 multiply by 100 is equal to 15. So my total increase is 15. So my total value, total number of customer, this is 100 plus 15 is equal to 115. I hope you understand how an increase in customer or how something, if something is increased, how that looks like in terms of 100. Now here it is given as last year they had 2000 customers. Last year customers 2000. Now we have to find out this year customers after increase of 15%. See, here in this particular scenario, last year number was 100, 15% increased, so total increased 15. So the new number was 115. Can I write, if every time it is written as 15% increase, I can write it as, or x percentage increases 100 plus x increase, right? I can write it like this. If 15 is there, I will add 15. If 10 is there, I will add 10. If 8% increase, I will simply add 8%. Now this is increased out of what? This is increased out of 100. This is increased out of 100. So whenever I will be given a question, in that question it is asked the growth of 15% or a growth of 20%. How will I find out that percent? I'll find out it this way. This is the percentage. This is the percentage figure. This is how it is increased. So now it is written as 2000 was last year. It is increased by what? It is increased by 15%. So can I write it 100 plus 15 divided by 100%? If it is increased by this percentage, I can write it like this. So if I solve it, 2000 multiplied by 115 divided by 100, and if I solve it, 20 multiplied by 115 is equal to 2300. So this year the number of customers is 2300. 2300. How did I find it out? I simply did what? I simply did 100 plus x, that is the percentage of increase, divided by 100, because I have to find out the percentage of last year value. that is of means multiplied. That gives me what? New value. So whenever the question is given or a question is asked in which it is asked this many percentage of increased from last year and you have to find out the new value. So what you will be doing, you will simply do what? 100 plus x. X means percentage of increase divided by 100 multiply by old value, because from this value this is the increase we are seeing, that will get you what? The new value that we require. So this is the formula that you will be following. So if I say I used to score 80 marks out of 100 in class 10th, and in 11th I worked really hard and my score got increased by 10 percentage. My score got increased by 10 percentage. So what is my score this year? So my score this year is 10% increase. So 100 plus 10 divided by 100 multiply by my old score, that is my old value 80. So 110 divided by 10 multiply 100 multiply by 80. So if I solve this, I will get 11 into 8 is equal to 88. So my new score is what? 88. So this is how you will be finding out the new value. I hope this formula you are able to understand this formula. If you did not understand this formula, pause it, go back and watch this video again. Watch this whole thing again. You need to understand how I got 115, how I find out this percentage of increase, okay, and then how I derived this formula. Okay, now let's see, let's solve this question. So sales of car in 2024, sale of car is what? 15 lakh, which is 30% more than, 2023. That means what? Car sales increased by 30% from 2023. Car sale increased by, I can write it as car sale increased by 30% from 2023. So if car sale is increased by 30% from 2023, I can write it as 100 plus x, that is 30 divided by 100 into total value of sales of 2023. So if car sale increased by 30% from 2023, I can write it in 2024 car sales increased by 30% from 2023. So I can write it this way because this is how my new value is coming. 100 plus x divided by 100 into old value is equal to new value. So my new value, the new value of sales, so car sales in 2024 is what? 100 plus sales increased divided by 100 multiply by sales of 2023. Now I do not have sales of 2023, but I do have car sales in 2024. So what is that? It is 15 lakh. 100 plus 30 is equal to 130 divided by 100 multiply by sales of 2023. So if I solve it, it will be 13 by 100, and if I solve it, it will be 15 lakh multiply by 10 divided by 13. This is the sale of car in 2023. I just simply solve this equation. So this is how I will be finding out sales in 2023. But here it is given as total number of increased car sales. Total number of increased car sales. That means what? Sales of 2024 minus sales of 2023. That is how I'll get total number of increased, because in order to see the increased you need to find the final value in 2024 and final value of 2023. So now if I have to solve this question, it is written as 15 lakh multiplied by 10 by 13 minus sales in 2023 is what? Sales in, sorry, sales in 2023 is 15 lakh multiplied by 10 by 13. So I have to minus it from 15 lakh sales this year. 15 lakh sales 2024. See, in 2024 sale was 15 lakhs. In 2023 this is the sales. So if I have to solve this, I can write it 15 lakh multiplied by 13 minus 15 lakh multiplied by 10 divided by 13. I just solved it. Now I can take 15 lakh in common. So 13 minus 10 divided by 13 is equal to 15 lakh multiplied by 3 divided by 13 is equal to 45 lakh divided by 13. It is equal to 45 lakh divided by 13. So if I will solve it, I will find out what? I will find out my actual number of sales. I will find out my actual number of increased sale. Okay. So this is how we will be solving such type of questions if car sales is increased. Okay. So this equation is very much important. So you have to understand this equation well. This equation is much more important. I hope this is clear to each and every one of you. If you are unable to understand it, pause it, watch this slide again, you will get to understand it. But you should not move forward without understanding this. Okay. Next question. Sales of car was in 2024 is 15 lakh. In 2024 it is 15 lakh, which is 20% less than 2023. That means what? Sales of car decreased by 20% from 2023, and this happens in 2024. So in 2024 sales of car decreased by 20% from 2023. What I have already told you. So if something is getting decreased, so the new value will be what? 100 minus decrease percentage divided by 100 multiplied by old value. So here old value, that is 2023 sales, were unknown about 2023 sales. So in 24 the sale was 15 lakh. How many percentage it is decreased by? 100 minus 20, sorry, decreased by 20 divided by 100 multiplied by 2023 sales, because we have to find out that. So 15 lakh is about 100 minus 20 is equal to 80 divided by 100 into 2023 sales, that is for an example say X. So if I solve this, 2 4s are 8, 2 5s are 10. So it will be X, the sale of 2023 or the sale in 2023 is equal to 15 lakh multiplied by 5 divided by 4. So this is the sales in 2023. Why I am not solving this? Because it will take a bit much more time. So let's see, let's solve it. 15 lakhs multiply by 5 by 4. 4 3s are 12, 3 0 4 7s are 18, 5 2 0 4 5s are 20. So 3,75,000 multiplied by 5, I will get what? 5 5s are 25, 5 7 35 into plus 2 equal to 37, 5 3s are 15, 3 equal to 18. So 18,75,000 was the sales in 2023. I hope you are getting this number. And how did we get this number? By using this formula. So this is the formula you need to understand. For increase, it will be simply add here. For decrease, it will be simply deducted from 100. Okay. Now, let's say this question. See, this is a homework for you. Here the car sales is given. Very easy. You just have to find out the percentage of decrease and in the car sales. Quite easy. Now, a supply of juice lasts 45 days. If this is the advanced level of concept, so you need to understand each and everything very clearly. A supply of juice lasts 45 days. If its use is increased by 30%, the number of days would the same amount of juice last. First of all, you need to understand my supply is for 45 days. That means what? This is for 100% utilization. This is for 100% utilization. Okay. If my utilization increased by 30%, that means my new utilization is what? 100 plus 30 divided by 100, that is 130%. I can write it as, for less confusion, let me write it as, my new utilization is what? 100 plus 30%, that is 130%. See, whatever I had, that was for 45 days only. That means I can use my 100%. I can use it for 100% and it will be still available for next 45 days. But now I am consuming, for an example, I used to consume 2 glasses per day and this will last for 45 days. Now I have increased that 2 into, for an example, for example, let's take it a very easier example. For an example, 45 days supply, I used to drink 10 glasses of juice per day. 10 glasses of juice per day. Now my intake, I am drinking 30% more drinks. 30% drinks more. So that means what? The new value will be 100 plus 30 divided by 100 into 10. That is 130 divided by 100 into 10. So if I solve this, I will get, I am now drinking 13 juice glasses. I am drinking 13 glasses of juice daily. See, you need to understand it this way, because this is how your foundation will get clear. Previously, you used to drink 10 glass of juices and you had a supply for 45 days. Now you are drinking 30% more. That means how? So this, my new value will become like 100 plus 30 divided by 100 into my old value. So now my new value is what? I am drinking 13 glasses of juice. So if I have to find it out, I had 14 days supply with 10 glasses of juice. Now I am left with, I am consuming 13 glasses of juice. How many days are left? So if I have to solve this, how would I solve it? I will solve it like this. So the number of days left is equal to 45 multiplied by 10 divided by 13. So 450 by 13. 450 by 13 is the number of days my supply will continue. This is the number of days my supply will continue. Now do not have the confusion of 13 multiplied by 5 is equal to 45. No, 13 multiplied by 5 is equal to 65. So it can't be exactly solved. Okay. So this is how we are solving it with an example. But here in this case, what we will be doing through formula. I hope this is clear to each and every one of you. The total supply will remain same. Okay. The number of days will decrease because I am consuming more. Okay. So the formula will always be, if it is increased, if you have a certain amount of supply, now your consumption is increased. So what you will be doing? You will be doing this like this. This is your total supply multiply by 100 divided by 100 plus x percentage. And x is what? X is the percentage of increase in sale. This is the formula I will be using. So if I have to use this formula in this case, what I will do, my total supply is for how many days? 45 days. 100 divided by increased in consumption 30. So 100 plus 30. If I have to solve it, 450 multiply by 100 divided by 130, and I can get it as 45. 450 divided by 13 days. So this is the number of days now my supply will last. Here, I hope you are able to use the formula that I have already written here for your future references. Try to write this formula in your notebook. Try to solve such question. Try to remember it again and again so that you can solve much more questions. Okay, let's see another example. If marks of Sumit is 30% more than Subham, then find Subham's mark is what percent less than Sumit. So whenever this type of question is given, you are seeing that Sumit, Shubham. So whenever this sort of question is there, you will always take 100 is one of the student's score. So Shubham's score was 100 for an example. Now it is increased by 30%. It is 30% more. Sumit's mark is 30% more. So Sumit mark will be 100 plus 30. Okay. So it will be 130. 130. So Sumit's mark is 130. Subham mark is 100. Now I have to find it what? Subham's mark, what percent less than Sumit's mark? First percentage. But before I calculate the percentage, let's find out the less. How less is Subham marks out of Sumit? So what I can do? 130 minus 100, that is 30. But here we can't say it's 30% because this 30 is less than what? Is less than 130. It's not less than 100 because this is less than Sumit's mark. 30 is less than Sumit's mark. So if I have to find out percentage of less, what I will do? I will do Sumit's mark minus Shubham's mark divided by, we are less than Sumit's mark. Less than Sumit's mark. And in order to find the percentage, I will simply multiply it with 100%. So here Sumit's mark is what? 130 minus Subham mark is what? 100 divided by Sumit's mark is what? 130 multiply by 100%. Now 130 minus 100 is equal to 30 divided by 130 into 100. Okay. This will be 3000 divided by 130. So if I will solve it, I will get 300 by 13% is less than Subham's mark is 300 by 13% less than Sumit's mark. Or if I solve it, 300 by 13 is equal to 13 2s are 26, 40, 13 3s are 39, 1. So it will be 23 1 by 13% less than 23 1 by 13% less than Sumit's score, Sumit's mark. Why we did 100 as an example? In order to solve it in the best possible way. So whenever a question is given like this, where a comparison has been made, and you have to find out a figure that is less than something, or that is more than something, or you can say total increase or total decrease. So you should be directly using the formula. So what is the formula? The formula is, if someone's number is increased, for an example here, Subham number is less than Sumit's number. So what we did, Sumit's mark minus Subham's mark divided by Sumit's mark into 100%. So what you will be doing, you will be solving it like this. You will be solving it like percentage of decrease or less. We'll write total decrease divided by initial value multiply by 100. This is the formula we'll be using. So here we find out Subham's is 100, Sumit's is 130. So total decrease is 30. Decreased from what? That will be initial value. So initial value is 130, and we'll simply multiply it with 100, and we'll find out our answer, that is 3000 by 130 percentage, and we'll find out this number. So if something is like this sort of question is being asked in your examination, first thing you have to remember this, and then you can use this formula for solving such questions. Okay, I hope this is clear for you. Now, if two numbers are equal to 12% and 48% of third number, two numbers, there are three numbers, first, second and third number. Whenever such questions are there and exact number is not given, even if exact number is given, you should start with always you should start with 100, because that will help you making the calculation easier. So two numbers are equal to 12% and 48% of third number. So everything is related to what? Third number. So let's take third number is 100. Now two numbers are equal to 12% of 12% of third number. So 12% of 100, for an example, is first number. So 12% of 100 can be written as 12 multiplied by 100 into 100 is equal to 12. So first number is 12. Second number is 48% of third number. So 48% of 100 is equal to 48 by 100. Percentage means 48 by 100 multiply by 100. We have already know how to calculate this. So it is 48. So my first number is what? 12. My second number is what? 48. Now my third number is what? 100. Now it is asked, then find out first number is equal to what percent of second number. We know if it is asked x is what percent of n, what formula we use? What is the formula we always use? We use x by n multiply by 100. So here x is 12, because the first number is what percentage of the second number, divided by n, that is 48, multiply by 100. So if I solve it, I'll get 4. So it will 100 by 4 percentage. If I solve it, I'll get 400 divided by 4 is equal to 25. So it is 25%. It is 25% of second number. It is 25% of second number. I hope this is clear to each and every one of you. I hope this is clear. First thing what we did, we take the reference point, we make it 100, we calculate the other two number, and then we use the formula that we have already learned in the previous slides. Okay. The next question. This is a homework for you. See, a number is 50% less than P. The other number is 20% less than P. So P is your reference point. So what should be P? 100. Then you take out the numbers, then you find out the ratios of those numbers. If sum of sum of 30% of a number and 40% of same number. So for an example, the number is x. 30% of x plus 40% of x. Can I write is 30%, 40% is 70% of x? I can. Let's see how. So 30% of x can be written as 30 multiplied by 100 into x plus 40 divided by 100 into x. Yes, I can write it. So let's x common. So 30 by 100 plus 40 by 100 is equal to x into 30 plus 40 is equal to 70 by 100. 70 by 100 is nothing but 70% of x, right? So I can always write 30% of x and 40% of x is equal to 70% of x. Now what is given? The sum of 30% of a number and 40% of a number is equal to 56. So 70% of a number is 56. 70 divided by 100 of x is equal to 56. So how will I solve it? X is equal to 56 multiplied by 10 divided by 7. 0, 0, they cross out each other. So this will be 7, 8 is 56, it is 80. So here the number is 80. This was the number that we have already taken, 80. So the 30% of 8 and 40% of 8 is 56. Let's see. 30% of 80, that is 30 by 100 into 80. 1 0 will cross here, 1 0 will cross here. 8 into 30, 8 into 3, 3 is equal to 24. Now 40% of 80, it will be 40 by 100 into 80. 1 0 will cross here, 1 0 will cross here, it is 32. So if I add both, I will get 56. So my answer is correct. This is how you will be solving if a question is like this. Sum of 30% of a number and 40% of same number is 56. Now, this is a homework for you. Here what is given? Difference between 60% and 80% of a number is this. Then find out the difference between this. See, difference between 80% of x minus 60% of x is given as what? 20% of x. Now 20% of x is what? 198. Now you can find out x value. Then you have to find this out. That is quite easy for you. Now, if decreasing 120, if decreasing 120 by x percent, so if I am decreasing 120 by x percent, I can write it as what? I can write it as 120 multiplied by 120 multiplied by 100 minus decrease percentage divided by 100. We have already seen this in our last slides. Whenever decreased percentage is given, what we used to do? We used to find out the total decreased divided by initial value. So here my initial value was 100 and decreased by x percent. So I can write it as 120 multiplied by 100 minus x by 100. This is the my decreasing value. Is same result as increasing 40 by x percent. So if I have to find out 40 increased by x percent, I can write it as 40 100 plus x by 100. The way we used to find out percentage increased. So I have equation here, 120 decreased by x, 40 increased by x. So if I try to solve this, 100 denominator will cross out. 40 divided by 120 is equal to 3. So 3 into 100 minus x is equal to 100 plus x. 300 minus 3x is equal to 100 plus x. So 100 will come this side. This will be 300 minus 100. Here minus 3x will come this side. So it will be 3x plus x is equal to 4x. So 4x is equal to 300 minus 100 is equal to 200. So x is equal to 200 by 4. That is 50. So x is what? 50. So x percent means 50%. Here it is asking Then x percent of 210. 50% of 210. That means 50 by 100 multiply by 210, or I can say 50 by 100 to 1 by 2 multiply by 210. If I solve it, 2 ones are 2, 2 0, 2 5. 105 is the number, that is 50% of 200. Is what less than x plus 20% of 180? X plus 20, so 50 plus 20, 70% of 180. That is 70 by 100 multiply by 180. So 0 will cross out. 18 into 7. So if you have already solved that math workout application I have already given you, you will simply write, sir, it is 126. You do not have to sit across, then check. You do not have to do all these things. So this is the x plus 20 of 180. This is x percent of 210. So how much it is less? So 126 minus 105 is equal to 21. So it is less by 21. I hope you are clear now. So how did we find out? We use this formula. What is the formula? New value is equal to 100 plus, if it is increased, x by x percent divided by 100 into old value that we have already learned. In case of decrease, 100 minus x by 100 into old value will find out the new value. This is the formula that I have already taught you in the last slides. Okay, so let's move on. Here is the homework for you. Why I am giving you all this homework? Because only learning the concept won't help you out. Solving these concepts will help you out. Okay, successive percentage. Okay, the most important, you can say, of advance, and you can say this concept is quite frequent. This type of questions is quite frequent in our examinations. What does this mean by successive percentage? For an example, 100 students are there. Okay, or you can say 100 rupees are there. It got increased by 20%. Then again it got increased by 30%. See what I'm saying? 100 first increased by 20%, then this whole thing got increased by 30%. I am not saying 100 increased by 20, then 100 increased by 30. No, I am saying 100 increased by 20%. That means 100 plus 20 is equal to 120. Again 120 is increased by 30%. That means what? 120 plus 30. No, 30% increase. That means what? 120 multiplied by 100 plus 30 divided by 100. That is equal to 120 multiplied by 130 into 100. So 0 will cross out. 13 multiplied by 12 is equal to 156. It is equal to 156. So if 120 is increased by 30%, this will be 156. Why I did not use this formula? Because if I use this formula, I will get this answer. Let's see. 100 increased by 20%. So it will be 120 by 100. See the formula that we know. So 100 will cross out. So I can simply write 100 plus 20 here. But in this case, I have to write down the whole thing for your understanding. So this is how you will be calculating successive percentage. But you will say, sir, if I have to calculate this way, then what is the point of learning formulas or the point of listening to you? Point of listening to me is getting a formula for it. Point of listening to me is getting a formula for it. So what is the formula? Formula is, if a number is increased by A percent, then by B percent, total increase percentage, or if you have to find out the total value, this is the formula for it. So you will do what? A plus B plus A multiplied by B divided by 100%. So this is the total increase percentage. This is what? Total increase percentage. So in this case, first increase was 20, then 30, then 20 into 30 divided by 100%. So 20 plus 30 is equal to what? 50. Plus 20 multiplied by 30 is equal to what? 600 divided by 100. It will get 6. 56% increase. Okay. So this is the total increase from the base value. So my old value was what? 100. Percentage of increase is what? 56. So I can write 100 plus 56 by 100 into 100. Then only I will get my new value. So 100 will cross out. 100 plus 56 is equal to 156. This is my new value. See how first we calculate the same solution without multiplying n number of things. Okay. So if something is given as like this, a number is increased 5% first, then 6%. What is the total increase? You can write down is 5 plus 6 plus 5 into 6 divided by 100 is equal to 11 plus 30 by 100 is equal to 30 by 100 is 0.3. 11 plus 0.3 is equal to 11.3%. So total increase is 11.3%. Okay, I hope you got the idea. Let's solve one more question. The price of an article is increased by 20%, later increased by 25%. So first increase was 20%, later on 25%. 20 into 25, the formula we are using, by 100 is equal to 20 plus 25 is equal to 45, plus 20 multiplied by 25 is equal to 500. This is the magic of math workout application. Divided by 100, so it will be 500. If I divide 500 by 100, it will be 5. So 45 plus 5 is equal to 50%. So the net percentage change is equal to 50%. Without worrying about anything else, we finally solve this question. Now, sir, you told us if it is increased, we have to add it. If it is decreased, what we should do? You don't have to worry. In terms of increase, we will be using what? We will be using minus, plus. In case of decrease, we'll use minus. How we'll be using that? Sir, in this case, first the price of article was 100. It got increased by 20%. So can I write it as 100 plus 20 divided by 100? The formula we have, 100 cross out, it is 120. Now it got decreased by 25%. So 120 old value, 100 minus 25 divided by 100. I can write it as 120 multiplied by 100 minus 25 is equal to 75 divided by 100. If I divide 75 and 100 by 25, I'll get 3 by 4. So can I write 120 into 3 by 4 is equal to 4 30s are 120, 30 into 3 equal to 90. So my total number is what? 90. But here I have to find out the actual percentage change. So change in number 100 minus 90 out of 100, then the percentage given. We know how to find out the percentage change. Total change divided by the initial value into 100%. 100 minus 90 is equal to 10 divided by 100 into 100%. It will be 10%. So the net change in percentage. So the net change in percentage is what? Is 10% and 10% decreased, because previously it was 100, now it is 90, so it is decreased. So for this the whole formula will be A increased minus B decreased minus, see, let me write it this way, first increased percentage minus second decreased percentage minus increased percentage multiply by decreased percentage divided by 100. So let's use for net change, and positive sign for increase, negative sign for decrease in value. Okay, now if I put this formula in this particular question, how that look like, let's see. So for an example here, the first increase was 20, then the decrease minus 25 minus increase 20 multiplied by 25 divided by 100. So if I solve it, 20 minus 25 is equal to minus 5 minus 20 into 25 is equal to 500 divided by 100 is equal to 5 minus 100 by 500 is equal to 5. So it is minus 10%. Minus means decrease. So how many percentage change? 10% decrease in the price of an article. If it is increased by 20% first, later on decreased by 25%. I hope this is clear to each and every one of you. Okay. And if it is asked, what is the new value? What is the new value of the article? What we'll do? We'll do it like this. So 100 was our initial value. It got decreased by 10%. So it is 90. Okay. So this is our final value. This is a homework. Same question, same pattern. You just have to use the formula for it. Okay. Now, again, the same formula. It got increased, then increased. Okay. I have already said this. This is a homework for you. Now, these are the homeworks. Why I have not mentioned this? So guys, this was all about percentage. I have covered each and every basic concepts to a bit of advance I can say. I hope this lecture helped you understanding percentage in a better way. If you like this video, then drop a comment. As I have already said, share it with maximum number of students. Like this video, subscribe to our channel, so that as many as students will join with this whole series, with this whole process. I will be motivated. I will be creating more lectures. And drop down what is the next lecture you want to learn from me, and let me know. And the number of comments, the lecture I will get with the number of comments, I will be making video on that soon. Okay guys, that's it. See you in the next class.